Aliens or no aliens? This debate has been going around for ages. But doesn't the idea of humans not being alone in this universe haunt you? Well, many believe this concept and have faith in the existence of the extraterrestrial. They believe it's evident we are not alone and will hauntingly recount their own encounters with extraterrestrials during a nighttime stroll. But with everything from increasingly weird reports to simple mathematical probability indicating the possibility of extraterrestrial life, skepticism is becoming more difficult to maintain. No matter what your beliefs are, you may discover that the following instances have an undisputed impact on their existence. You might be wondering how the dispute goes. Well, according to some scientists, if the universe is made up of 125 billion galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars, and if some of these galaxies also include planets containing advanced civilizations, is it possible that aliens from distant galaxies may visit our planet someday? If you are new on our channel, make sure to subscribe, like, and share the content with your friends. As a believer of science and logic, these days it is easier for us to dismiss much recent occurrence, citing anything from errant weather balloons to the continuation of the mythology and UFO sightings in pop culture, creating a unified image of extraterrestrials for eyewitnesses to lean on should someone cry alien. But we can't deny, the ancient evidence is a little more difficult to deny. Then there is this very famous the Madonna with Saint Giovanni, also known as the UFO artwork. This unique artwork was painted in 15th century and portrays the Virgin Mary along with a man and his dog pairing up at a floating disc-like object that appears to be familiar. And it's not only one image found with the concept of alien, but in fact everything from prehistoric cave drawings to Sanskrit scrolls depicts extraterrestrial life. The Bible even mentions a sighting in the book of Ezekiel. Many people without a doubt believe that the weird object was an old extraterrestrial spaceship, because if it was an angel or something holy, the picture would have been depicted by wings or angel's body, which was a common tradition back then. The cool fact is that all Abrahamic religions recognize the potential of life on other planets, implying that they are God's creation as well. So religion and aliens may be able to coexist in our modern society. In 1961, a famous astronomer Frank Drake created an equation to assess the chance of extraterrestrial life's existence. He took into consideration a variety of parameters such as the average number of planets capable of supporting life and the proportion that could go on to support intelligent life. This was then put into action in 2001. As a result, hundreds of thousands of such planets should technically exist. There are uncountable reports of UFO sighting but are followed by a detailed refutation. A very troublesome case arose in 1853 which was cited by a number of students as well as professors on the Tennessee College campus. Also in 2008 in Stephenville, light case occurred where the spotting of UFO was cited by more than 200 people, including 3 anonymous police officers. Many such reports of near encounters have continued for decades, despite debunkers and the emergence of more conventional explanations for UFOs. 67 years old Terry Lovelace, who is a retired assistant attorney general in Vermont, USA, and he is also the author of Incident at Devil's Den. Terry kept his abduction a secret for 40 years because he was afraid of losing his job. He had a near call in 1977 while serving in the United States Air Force. One night, he was on a camping trip with a friend called Toby at Devil's Den State Park in northern Arkansas, when he noticed that the things began to go odd. Both the men were sitting around a fire and having a chit-chat while in the background they could hear loud noises of tree frogs and bugs. He said that seemed sort of cliched, like something out of a movie, but that is precisely what happened to us. Next, they noticed that three brilliant lights emerged on the horizon and begins to march towards them. When the lights were overhead, they could see that they were coming from a huge black triangular prism that was 2 blocks wide. A blue laser beam flashed across them, which Lovelace mistook for a scan. They fell asleep when it turned off. He woke up to find Tobey staring out of the tent. The triangle was floating over a group of youngsters who looked to be standing in a meadow below them. Lovelace thought what those youngsters were doing out there at that part of the night. Tobey replied that those people were not children and asked him that doesn't he remember how they took and injured them. According to Lovelace, Tobey's recollections of being inside the UFO flashed in his head as soon as he stated it. Years later, hypnosis filled in more of the blanks for him, and he remembered really seeing aliens inside the UFO. The same incident happened to Alan Godfrey, who is a retired police officer in northern England. PC Alan Godfrey, who is 73 years of age, believed that the Pentagon acceptance of it cannot explain the actions of the items and it may have come as a surprise to some but just serves to confirm what he already believes. Godfrey was pursuing a herd of runaway cows through the housing development of Todmorden on a windy and rainy West Yorkshire evening in November 1980. He expected to find cows, but instead found a massive gliding diamond that would forever alter his life. As a result of Godfrey's close experience with this UFO going viral throughout the world, Todmorden became the British equivalent of Roswell. Godfrey, including no Yorkshire man who had been born and bred in Oldham and who is now retired from the police, vividly remembers what happened that night when he came face to face with this strange object. A diamond-shaped aircraft that was hovering 5 feet over the ground and rotating on its axis. Before going blind, he barely had time to draw the UFO on his notepad. He was seated in his patrol cruiser the next time he became aware of his surroundings. The UFO vanished. The road was like a vortex when he stepped out of the car and looked at it. He said the dead leaves, twigs, and other material had been arranged into an autumn-themed spiral by the UFO's quick revolutions. After his experience, he received visits from the Ministry of Defense, mail from a Russian scientist, and media attention from around the world. Even hypnosis was used to help him find his abduction memories. Godfrey endured years of mockery, and many people who assert to have had UFO sightings are hesitant to speak out for the fear of receiving the same treatment. However, changes are taking place to make it easier for people to come out and speak. If you are going to believe any tales of UFOs, you may as well believe those coming from astronauts. Edgar Mitchell, Cady Coleman, and Dr. Brennan Larry are among the people who have reported sightings. Several have also mentioned official awareness of extraterrestrial existence and cover-ups. Buzz Aldrin has also shared his own account of what it was like to be on board the Apollo 11 and witness an object flying next to them. They initially believed it to be the rocket's last stage, but Mission Control later verified it that the flying object was 6,000 miles away from them. Some US presidents have disclosed secret material recording UFOs, including Jimmy Carter's famous account of his own experience. Some have reportedly been completely barred from accessing such informations, and Bill Clinton is claiming to be one of them. Many Christians have assumed there is a cover-up going on as a result of this. It's important to take note of Clinton's views on an Independence Day scenario as well, because he has constantly expressed his views on the presence of aliens. High-ranking government figures like Luis Elizondo, a former director of AATIP, and former US Secretary of Defense for Intelligence Christopher Mellon maintained that there are aircraft in our sky that defy the rules of physics. In a recent interview with CBS, Barack Obama expressed his views on the matter and said that there are videos and records of things in the skies that they don't quite know what they are and they can't explain how they traveled their trajectory. They lacked a clearly discernible pattern. He believed that people are still interested in learning more about it. However, he had nothing to share with people that day.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory.
As per the reports of intelligence agencies, after the 9/11 terrorist attacks, unexplained air tracks intensified dramatically. The thinking would instantly be, is this a commercial airliner? So it will go to the captain and the admiral, and they will want to know what it is. Has someone taken it over? But even with the help of satellite imagery, the authorities are still unable to locate these unidentified items. If anything is unidentified, it certainly must be recognized right now. Don't you think it's time to begin treating these tales with more respect? I don't want to imply that I think it's literally all true that they are extraterrestrial spacecraft. However, these individuals who were previously scorned and mocked had to at the very least be given a chance to be heard. I would respond, what fame, what wealth, to anyone who claims that these folks are attention seekers pursuing fame and fortune. The point to ponder over is, who has heard of Alan Godfrey or Terry Lovelace outside of the UFO community? If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and of course don't forget to subscribe so you never miss it when we upload a new video. You can drop your recommendations and comment of what you wanna see us make in the next video. On that note, thanks for watching, we'll catch you in the next one.